How are you lads? Welcome back to another episode of the Guinness Guru Show. I mean, the guests just keep getting better and better, at least I think so, lads. My guest this week is a giant of a man in more ways than one. Physically, mentally, natural born leader. Leinster and Ireland rugby legend in the making, James Ryan. I've been DMing back and forth a little bit with James over the last few months, so I wrecked his head long enough for him to come on. We shot this one in Smith's Pub on Haddington Road, which I would have went to back in 2019 when I did the 12 pubs video. It's an absolutely beautiful pub. So let's get into it, lads. And if you want to support the channel, the merch is available now. Hoodies, t-shirts, hats, mugs, all that good stuff for Christmas. Let's see, can James Ryan pour a pint? This is the job. Jesus. Have everything we need.
How are you?
I'm 6'7".
I'm 6'7" myself.
I read that you're 6'8".
No, I'm 6'7".
And you're what?
Who's taller?
He's good.
He's taller.
Yeah, so maybe you're not 6'7".
You're listed at 6'8" though.
No, I'm not. That's a lie.
I've been measured at 6'6", 6'7" and a half, but I'll accept you're taller than me.
Yeah.
And you're weight-wise, you're what? 115?
15, yeah. What about you?
Probably 107 at my... I better do an introduction here. We're just chatting away. Lads, I'm here in Smith's on Haddington Road with the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, the unit, the monster, James Ryan. But yeah, I'm about 108, not to make it about myself, but back in my day, about 3 years ahead of you, I was in the Leinster underage setup, and probably about 18, 19 was the heaviest I ever was. No more than yourself, they're probably trying to feed you all sorts of protein and everything. I probably got up to about 111 of muscle, and then now it's probably just a bit of Guinness.
Do you still play?
No. Again, all about me. I get your violin out. I dislocated the shoulder a few years ago. I was playing locally, but I had to give it up. But you'd missed it, all right?
Yeah.
Right, James. I want to ask you, have you poured a pint before?
I'd say I've poured 2 or 3 pints in my life, max.
As in
I'm used to drinking them, but not pouring them.
Yeah, as in you just poured them for the crack?
You pour them for the crack, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll give it a go, sure.
And do you, like, you're from Blackrock?
Yeah.
And do you live there?
Yeah.
Not to give out where he's living. But would you have like a local around Blackrock?
Would I have a local? Not really. The Black Rock, yeah. It's a good spot. Yeah. Not anymore after you came in there and roasted it for them.
I didn't roast it.
I'm joking. But
did you hear that from the lads?
No, they were just happy that you were in there.
I just got a mess from Dave Carney being like, we'll take that.
Yeah. No, it was good. Yeah, you did, yeah.
I wouldn't try to...
No,
I'm not going to be like, just a kip, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely lovely bar. Love the lads. Pint could be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're not trying to burn any bridges. But what about, have you been to the Breffney's place tonight?
I haven't, and I couldn't believe when you got on to me and you told me how many lads had recommended the Breffney. Yeah, because I've walked by that place and just kind of never thought about going in. It just has like
old man vibes.
It does, yeah. Like it wouldn't strike you walking by it.
Yeah.
But me and a couple of my mates were, since he put that video up, we were like, we need to get in there and try to.
Did you go?
No, we haven't yet, but it's definitely on the list.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, we'll pour pints. Again, it's just me telling you as if like I'm some expert, but what I have learned is we'll just go one at a time and then we'll put them here. 45-degree angle. Yeah, you want to come in close, Cat? That's the sound. 45-degree angle. He said I don't think these are even working to push it forward.
Are they not?
But I think some people say pushing forward is kind of for pussies.
Okay.
It's like, because it goes a little bit slower.
So you bring it back twice?
So bring it back twice, full hog, no messing about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, alright.
So you've got your clean glass, also a glass of course. Do you want to get nice and close there, Cat? Perfect. And then, that was good because some people kind of push it, fiddle around with it, but you poured it all the way, which was good. Okay, I'm going to say a little bit low.
Yeah, a little bit lower, right.
Yeah, conservative effort, James.
Yeah, playing it safe there.
Yeah, playing it safe. Now, what might happen to you is you might get a big head because that extra pour is going to be quite a lot.
I like that damage though, so.
There he goes. Let's get this man a t-shirt. Okay, I'll go straight away then. So I usually keep the nozzle at the glass. Yeah, and you did a good thing. You poured it straight down, where some people kind of fuck around with the handle. Then I'll go up to kind of the harp. But again, every Guinness glass seems to be different these days. I'll leave that there. And then I'm trying to turn this into an actual structural show instead of just standing here talking shit about pints for half an hour.
Yeah.
What I want to do, we're kind of settle a debate, or just settle something as these are settling. So, common quote is, as you've heard a million times, rugby is a hooligan sport played by gentlemen. Soccer is a gentleman sport played by hooligans. I'm not really asking do you agree or disagree, but why do you think rugby, as long as I've ever known about rugby, and I think as long as it goes back, the refs have just so much more respect than soccer. So like, do you have any idea why that is? Because in soccer they're just like, fuck you and all that.
Yeah.
You say anything and you're gone.
I don't really know why exactly. It's probably just culturally. Since you're very small, you're always brought up to have respect for the ref.
Yeah.
And probably as well, they don't really stand for any kind of back chat or any disrespect.
But in football, I remember like maybe 5 years ago they tried to bring it in with like, I think I remember like Suarez saying something to the ref in the Premier League match and he gave him a yellow. But then they tried to bring it in, but then it just kind of died off.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe it's just like, it's just too late? Like
I don't know. Yeah, it's probably just a cultural thing, really.
Yeah.
But it's a fair question. But I just they don't really let it happen, do they? Like if you're kind of disrespectful towards the ref, you can.
Yeah, and you see like it's a big, huge fella, like big 140 kilo lad will go and tackle someone. The ref gives him a red card. He's like, sorry, the ref's down here. He's like, you like yourself, and be like, sorry, ref, and then you run off. Like,
exactly. I know.
Like,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough settling. James, you're up.
Okay.
So again, just pull it back to yourself. I'll move my pint out of the way. I notice you have no bubbles in yours, which is a good start. And it's all about the domage test now, James.
Yeah.
Man is concentrating, bent down, bent back. Oh my days. Oh my God.
I was gone for too much damage.
Oh my God, James.
I was gone for too much damage.
That's going to go viral. The place destroyed. Well,
all right.
I'm going to go. It's safe to say. It's safe to say I'm going to go with a conservative effort.
Yeah.
If I don't even get it to the top. Oh my God. Absolute worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The worst of all time. How are you getting on?
Yeah.
Where are the bouncers? If you want a pint, I wouldn't ask us.
So you mind settling now, all right?
Yeah, but look,
I had
the
a bit of a
absolute
fuck up
state
there,
of it.
but yeah,
My head is tiny though.
your head is
Look
tiny.
at that. No, squat down. I know you can squat. Look at that, James. Romeo and Julia.
Yeah, in fairness.
Your domage is 0. And all your head fell out over the side. You've lost your head, lad. And you're at least you're the one drinking it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Right, we'll take these. We'll try fucking carry them. Actually, can't. Will you just take a picture? Yeah. You have to stand over that point now.
That was the worst. I can't believe that.
Oh Jesus! At least the spillage is on this side.
Yeah.
Turn your glass of the Guinness is shown.
Yeah, you turn. Yeah, 100%. James doesn't want to show all the spillage.
Aaron, 3, 2, 1.
James, that might just go for the house when the stock takes a bit.
Yeah.
You won't be hiring him anyway. Right, brilliant.
Sad. This is not turned out too bad now.
No, right, we'll run around and don't look at his pint.
Shocking. I had one job.
Clean up on aisle 3 out there. How are you?
How are we doing? You are?
Brilliant. Jeez, these are just about settled. Right lads, just a quick word from our sponsor before we drink these pints. Can't imagine James is in any rush to drink his. The video is sponsored by my good friends over at Manscaped. They've been helping me keep the lights on here at Guru HQ for a long time now. November is here, so it's officially acceptable to start talking about the big C. Not the big C from 2020. Fuck that. Christmas. Whether you like it or not, lads, it's coming right in your face. Oh, that did not sound right. Anyway, Manscaped have the perfect gift for that person in your life who's just a bit of a hairy bollocks. The Performance Package 4.0 is all you need to transform your hairy gorilla-like carcass into a smooth and sexy, acceptable being the main word, carcass. It's got the Lawnmower 4.0, which is the best shaver in the game. The Weed Whacker has multiple uses. If you have a hairy nose, hairy ears, hairy whatever else. So what more could you need? Go over to manscaped.com, use the code PINT20, you get 20% off plus free shipping. Right, let's get into the pints.
Not the worst, is it?
Yeah, no, it's actually
Still flat as a pancake.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
Would you like I'm so sort of arsey now with the pints and all, but like see now, would you be thinking, if I want to fuck with to drink it? Because I would very much think once it goes black, you got to get it into you within a minute or two. And that happens to me a lot. You'd be farting around, and especially in the old days when you wouldn't have it properly set up, like, and it'll look like that.
Yeah.
Because the head will be going into itself. So would you be kind of like?
Yeah, I'd be the first like gulp. That'd be the best part of the pint for me.
Yeah, because you can have to get the first gulp in, and then it's.
And then you can settle. Yeah.
So let's stop talking shite and fucking do it.
Cheers.
Thanks, lad. Were you trying to split the G?
Not in particular, no.
That was a real manly gulp. Right. So you're what, 26?
26, yeah.
You obviously been playing at the top level since always, but say Ireland and all since 2021. How do you navigate your early 20s, which is supposed to be when you're drinking the head of yourself and not giving a bollocks and all that sort of stuff? Like, was it a conscious effort to navigate the sort of to not drink as much as the next lad? Do you know what I mean?
It's never been a big issue for me. It probably, sacrifices are probably obviously part of having a professional sports career, do you know? It was probably a little more difficult when I was kind of 18, 19, and I was kind of starting out in Leinster. I was in the sub-academy, and you're at that age where guys are going to, Asia, the Thailand, the J1, all those trips, and you miss out a little bit on that because I suppose you don't get the opportunity to do all that stuff, and you're not at the level yet where you're playing for Leinster or you're playing for Ireland. Do you know what I mean? So
it's still a little bit, even though you're obviously very good, it's still not guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. You're still very young.
Lads are getting cut left, right,
and lads would have gotten cut and would have missed out on kind of those parts of their lives, in their kind of early 20s and stuff. But for me, I've never thought twice about it. It's for me, it's a dream come true for what I do, and it's obviously. It's always worth it, kind of way.
Yeah, of course. So then even now, geez, 26 is still very young. You're going for, or even say 22, 23, you're very much established as a player, you're going for a few points. Are you just in your mind, there's not a chance in hell I'm doing an all-nighter here because I've got a match or I've got training? It's just always been the mindset. So is it nearly you don't know what you're missing, even though you see all the lads doing? Would your mates, would you go on your mates are going out, would you be I'll come out, and then you just piss off home early?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes I might go out with them and I might have one or two, or other times I might just spend the day with them. I might drink and they might end up heading off. But we definitely, with both Leinster and Ireland, we definitely have nights where we have loads of pints, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We really enjoy it.
Yeah, and you think it's a healthy balance?
Yeah, it is, yeah. After a big game or a big win, or when we have a bit of time off, there's always opportunities to have a few pints, and that's important as well, because obviously it is serious and it is tough, but you got to get that balance right between having the crack as well and growing those connections with guys as well.
You're preaching to the choir. Honestly, I don't know how many times I've had that whole, not that we get into it, but the way the GAA have these 6-month-long drinking bans, whereas rugby always just seems to be just have a few pints whenever. Just
a bit more balance. It's not about drinking excessively.
Yeah, and
in really, the season, but
it does bring lads together, like you
100%,
said.
100%, yeah, and you need it. So we love it.
I'm gonna name a few different players, and I want you to just first word that comes to your head.
Yeah.
Johnny Sexton.
Tough.
Devin Toner.
Consistent.
Ian Henderson.
Powerful.
Brilliant. Tyke Furlong.
World class.
Robbie Henshaw.
Dog.
Yeah. As in just
as he's a dog. And
take the
tough player.
Take a game by the scruff of the neck kind of job.
Yeah.
James Lowe.
X Factor.
Yeah. These are good. You're gonna start repeating them.
Yeah.
Paul O'Connell.
Legend.
Cian Healy. Can't say legend again.
Yeah, I was gonna strong
freak. A few more, right? Conor Murray.
Experienced.
Peter O'Mahony.
Tough.
You said tough for Sexton.
Um,
Can't say tough, can't say dog, can't say legend.
Edge.
Edge.
You know?
Right, 3 more. Jacob Stockdale.
Quick.
Gary Ringrose.
Unbelievable.
Last one, Mac Hansen.
Mac Hansen. Unpredictable.
Unpredictable. Brilliant. I've seen you talk before about your great granddad, James Ryan.
Yeah.
Was involved in the Easter Eyes and all that stuff. As long as I've ever seen you in teams and stuff, you've always been in a sort of leadership role. Do you think there's any connection down the generations in terms of leadership? Like, have you been from ever since you played on the young teams, were you always put in that position?
I don't think there's any connection. Yeah, I've talked about that before. You know, I'm kind of very proud of myself of that link.
Yeah. Because you study,
I study history and politics, yeah.
You still studying?
I do, yeah. I'm in final year at the moment. But, no, I don't think so. Like, I don't have any kind of, you know, big insight into leadership or anything like that. You know,
Yeah.
For me, it's always been about my performance and being as consistent and effective as I can in terms of my performance. And then I think leadership and all these kind of different things, they all kind of come off the back of that. But for me, it's always been about kind of focusing on myself and doing my job. And
yeah, because obviously,
there.
like, such cliche, but lead by example. Because you're not this sort of big, I don't know, maybe you are in a dressing room, but you're not this big razzmatazz shouting and screaming. Like, you're just very chilled out guy. So you just think you've gotten those roles as captains and stuff over the years because you just play well consistently, and they're like, "Sure, we'll give it to him."
Yeah, well, that's just always been the way I've thought about it. You know, when I was captain, you know, when I got the opportunity to captain Ireland a couple of years ago against England, and you know, that was the first thing Andy Farrell said to me. Said, "This doesn't change anything. Just focus on your own performance."
And were you captain?
That's what you got to get right.
Like Michaels and all.
I would have been captain growing up in Michaels and in school. So yeah, I've done it a few times, but again, it's never changed a whole lot for me. It's always just been about focusing on myself and getting my own performance right. And then, as you say, then if you lead by example, it becomes a lot easier, doesn't it?
Yeah. So would there be, like, for the young lads playing now, that would be the main tip: just lead by example, just worry about yourself?
I think so. Yeah, I think when you actions speak louder than words. You know what I mean? I know it's a cliche, but I think when you lead through your actions, then it's a lot more powerful, isn't it?
I want to ask you about, do you remember, like I was saying, I was whatever in the Leinster setup back in the day, but I remember this thing, and surely you remember it, Route 66.
Yeah.
The Leinster thing. And it was like, because both of us are able to say that we're over 6'6", but it was like, so when I would have been involved, it was probably like 2012, 13 maybe, and I think it maybe was a couple of years after that, maybe just before you were coming in, and Leinster literally put out a call to like anyone in the province, or like anyone, I don't know what it was, who was over 6'6".
Yeah.
And I remember we were actually training in the gym in Blackrock. It was like one of the academy things, and this lad rocks up. He's like 6'9" Polish fella. He was about 30. And he was like a basketball player.
Really?
And he just came, and then he was playing with us on the pitch, but like, he was big and strong, but he couldn't throw a ball.
Yeah, it's very funny. I remember that. Like, yeah, I must ask some of the lads about that. They were obviously so desperate for locks and for height that this is what they had to resort to. But hilarious that actually happened.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to see some of the heads that turned.
I know. And
You're probably got away.
It made me think, like, I got caught like 2 years ago. How shite was I if I didn't even, if they're literally begging, because they were like to me, "You have this ridiculous opportunity, look at the fucking size of you." And then I just thought it was so funny seeing that, like, later. It's just just calling it. And I don't think a single person came from it.
I don't think so.
I'd love to have seen the Leinster committee meeting, like, right, I have an idea. It's got Route 66. We just look for any lanky bastard across the place. No, that was very funny. Then let's talk. I'm sure you're probably sick of talking about it, but in terms of Lions, right? It's obviously every kid's dream to play for the Lions. I want to ask, where's your head at now compared to when the squad was announced for the last tour?
I'm kind of delighted with how I'm going at the moment. Like I had a tough couple of seasons. We did it as a team because we lost, some big matches. We lost finals.
Yeah.
And then more personally, I had a tough couple of seasons, particularly with kind of head injuries and different things like that, where I was in and out of the game. I was kind of had extended breaks from the game. So yeah, it was difficult at times. But I'm feeling good now, and that's why the summer was so satisfying, because I got back playing. I had a number of games on my belt, and I really felt like I valued and I kind of cherished the wins that we had and the wins that we've had so far this season, because I've been fit and things like that, and I've just have a bit more perspective about, like any sports career. You've got great moments and you've got other moments that aren't as good in terms of injuries and different things like that. So I'm in a good spot now, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah, and do you think, by the way you're speaking about it, it's like there was obviously there was uproar from everyone in Ireland, but do you think you were nearly less surprised because you were saying you don't think you were, that unfortunately was as consistent as you were? Was that at the worst time your least consistent sort of season?
I think, as I said, just kind of a tricky couple of seasons with injuries, particularly head injuries and stuff.
Yeah, that's a killer, the head injuries.
Yeah, but to be honest, it feels like a very long time ago now.
Yeah, I know.
I don't really think about it as much anymore. We've got such an exciting season ahead with both Leinster and Ireland. I wouldn't really think twice about it at the moment.
I want you, this is going to be a tricky one, this could have us here all night. I want you to pick your ultimate 15 all time.
All time?
All time. Would this be a conversation you would often have, or are you just like, having a clue?
Jesus.
And you can't just start picking every lad you're playing with at the moment now.
Yeah. God, it's a tough
Start with a
question.
pack, because you're obviously you're pack leader. You're in the pack. So backs, we can, if it takes too long, we'll forget about the backs. But let's go props.
Okay.
Say all time, like people you grew up watching up until kind of now.
Yeah. Okay. Props is tough now. I start in the second row.
Props is always the last one.
Yeah.
It's like the least glamorous.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, right, who's the 10, who's the 9, who's the second rows and number 8? Oh yeah, who played prop for Ireland back in the day?
Yeah.
Right,
Probably O'Connell anyway in second row. Martin Johnson maybe.
Okay.
In second row. Back row I would say, I don't know, I could get a bit out of the box here. Maybe somebody like Hayden Ordicky or Kieran Reid at number 8.
Yeah.
7 you could go with Pocock, super player. George Smith is another one. 6, Jeremy Kano, perhaps.
Yeah.
These are all guys that I just grew up with, kind of watching.
Yeah.
Front row is a bit more difficult. Who kind of stands out? It's always kind of harder to stand out in the front row.
And then, like most people wouldn't even know the difference. I could borderline not know the difference, like loose head and tight head, whatever. It's like it was at front row, whatever.
Yeah, front row. I'll have to come back to the front row. Give me a few minutes and I'll have an answer.
Right, 9, 10.
9, 10. Johnny 10.
Fair.
9.
Johnny Sexton, I presume.
Yeah, Johnny Sexton. 9. Who could you have 9? Maybe somebody like Aaron Smith in his prime.
Yeah, definitely a fair show.
And then in the back line,
12, 13.
O'Driscoll's
obvious.
O'Driscoll 13. 12, you could have Conrad Smith, Mananu. Conrad Smith was more of a 13.
Yeah, Nanu is legendary.
Yeah, and kind of back 3. Habana's got to be there.
Yeah.
Who else on the wing?
There's someone on the wing, if you don't say, people probably say
Lomu.
Yeah.
Lomu in the wing, yeah. And 15, I'm not sure.
15's a tough one. There's no real, like, is there a proper standout 15 about? Because 15s tend to play a lot, like,
a lot of positions.
Not only play 15.
Yeah.
Who would you think? Yeah, it's funny. You always just think like, who was the New Zealand's 15 because they were dominated.
Yeah.
Sure, we say Carney for the crack.
Yeah, put in Carney, yeah. He's not far off it.
Yeah, no, unbelievable. And then like I was looking through your social media, and it kind of, you don't seem to be like too active on there. Would you say you try to use it as a tool, or like in your spare time are you going on it, or for you is it just not ever really been a big thing?
I wouldn't say it's a big thing, but I definitely use it.
Yeah.
And I more use it just for entertainment, like, do you know what I mean? Watching videos.
Following idiots like
Guinness
yourself.
Guru, or loads of food pages, and more just kind of for entertainment. But yeah.
Are you a TikToker?
Yeah, I'm into TikTok now as well. Yeah, it's a bit of crack.
What have you watched?
That's actually very addictive, TikTok.
It's outrageous. Like, because I obviously post on it, and then I like try to justify myself scrolling through it for 4 hours. But
yeah, it's very easy just to waste time on
I
it.
try so hard to just post and run.
Yeah.
And I haven't even posted the thing, and I've been scrolling for like.
Would you be
3-4
more TikTok now or Instagram in terms of the Guinness Guru stuff, or both?
Both. Like, you have to be TikTok now because that's what's up and coming.
Yeah.
But Instagram is like the core. Like, if you're trying to move like merch and stuff, that's your Instagram audience and your YouTube audience. But TikTok is just, I've never seen anything like it. Like, when people say they don't have it, I just say, try not get it. If you're trying to have a presence on social media, get it.
Yeah.
But as you know, like, do you even have an account, or do you just have like a user 165?
I'm one of them, a ghost account.
Yeah.
But it's great for cooking videos as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's loads of recipes and stuff.
But they're so
that I've
fast
gotten.
though.
Yeah.
Do you ever see your man? He's like, let's do some cooking, and it's like 5.
Yeah.
Well, that took you about 6 hours, and he does it in about 10 seconds. And yeah, like when you're, obviously you guys are like have some sort of like media training and stuff. Do they talk much about social media? Do they say, oh, it's a great tool, or do they just leave it up to you?
They kind of leave it up to us, really. Like, there'll be a few rules around, like, not posting, say 24 hours in the lead up to a game, or after a game, and then obviously just being conscious of, sending out the right messages.
Yeah.
You're not putting anything out there that could compromise,
Yeah.
the team or anything like that. But outside of that, no, it would be kind of up to you, really, what you do with it. You know what I mean?
It's just the typical like great win yesterday.
Yeah.
Lexus sponsorship, bit of Aldi this, bit of Adidas that.
Yeah.
Has to be done, lad. What does James Ryan do for fun?
For fun.
And you can't say go to the cinema with my mates, because that's what you said in another interview, and I said I need more than that, James.
Yeah. Probably spend time with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Whether that's going out for a bite to eat or going out for a drink.
What's your go-to, not actual restaurant, but what's
I
your
love
go-to?
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese is, for me, I'm obsessed with Chinese.
So going out to eat Chinese?
Going out to eat Chinese or getting a Chinese delivery.
Okay. Any shout-outs for any Blackrock Chineses?
The best Chinese in Dublin is Good World on Georgia Street.
Okay.
Incredible.
It's going to be mob now.
Good World, Georgia Street.
Would you get to have a takeaway, like?
No, when I go to there, I'd be going in and be eating there. Dim sum.
Oh, it's an actual, like...
Yeah, sit
go
down,
in.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
M&L just off O'Connell Street's also very good.
Right.
In terms of delivery, Great Wall is usually my go-to.
Great
in
Wall.
Blackrock, they do an unbelievable spice
They always
bag.
have such...
Unbelievable spice bag.
Unbelievable.
Curry sauce. Yeah, that'd be my shout out. Yeah.
And tell me this now, and honestly, you've a game on Saturday. What's the closest to it you would have a spice bag?
Closest to a game.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I
except
wouldn't.
not the night before, but I'm sure you've been guilty of maybe the night before that.
To be honest, I wouldn't really. To be honest,
Yeah.
I'd try to stay off them like during the week. Do you know what I mean? It'd be more after the game now when the game ends, and I'm like, I need to eat something filthy here.
Yeah.
I'm starving. That'll be when I'm going for the spice bag. Do you know what I mean?
Fair enough. And I was going to say when you're hungover, but you're not hungover a whole lot, I wouldn't imagine.
Yeah, not well. When I am though, the Chinese is always the go-to. Do you know what I mean?
And I went to say to you earlier, do you have, because I'm always the guy, like you were saying about coming out with your friends and heading off early, I'm always the guy who goes first. Like my lads are literally like, it's 10 o'clock and you're still here, that's crazy. Because I just like a few pints. Do you have any sort of techniques for that, or is it just Irish goodbye,
In terms of
out the gap? That's what
I don't think techniques
toilet.
are of any use when you're with the lads. Do you know what I mean?
'Cause they'll
it's got to be. You're just gonna get mobbed. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they're
it's
just
got to be an
gonna
Irish goodbye.
put another one in front of you.
Yeah, and they won't let you leave.
Yeah.
So,
which is a good thing. Like they love you.
yeah,
But,
exactly. But
yeah.
no, I think Irish goodbye is the way
And
to
they,
go. I'm off
and they
to
know
the
well
Jacks.
because you're like me, that the height of us, they see
Yeah.
half of it, they're like, yeah, you going Jacks, yeah.
Yeah,
Like, twice that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then any other like hobbies, like what
Other
gives you a
hobbies?
passion, like when you something that's nothing to do with your career or making money? Is there anything where you just
History,
wait?
yeah. So
History.
Yeah. I love history. I love Irish history. And I'm studying history and politics. I'm in final year in college. So
Can you give me any sort of a historical fact that you found out over the course of your course that maybe isn't too well known, but you thought that should be known?
Not necessarily. I would say studying history and politics in college has given me a kind of better understanding and more broad outlook of just how the world works. You know what I mean? And there's loads of kind of interesting parts that I've studied, like the Irish Revolutionary history. I love that kind of period. You know, I did a module on the history of modern sport last year.
How far
So
would
it
that
was,
go back to if it's called modern sport? Like,
kind of the last kind of 150 years, but it looks a bit like, why is sport ubiquitous? Like, why is sport everywhere?
Yeah.
And how states use sport. You see what's going on with, like, you know, Russia when they had the Winter Olympics. You know, Russia were trying to display the best image of themselves, and how they use sport to kind of
improve their
normalise
image,
things that go on. And so it was an interesting module because it was all about you know, how states use sport and the relationship between state and sport and things like that. So loads of stuff. You know, there's kind of the Irish piece, as I said. You know, there was a module I did on China. So loads of variety, but it's all very interesting.
and then the stuff with your great granddad. Did you go back and study that, or were you just told all that stuff as you were growing up? Like, is there much of a story behind it? I know he was obviously he was a politician.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, how does he end up? As someone who's not a history person at all, how does he end up in the GPO on the Easter Rising?
So yeah, Easter 1916, he reported to the GPO just like any of the kind of fighting forces, with his rifle in hand or whatever. But when he got there, he realised that none of the medical personnel had turned up.
They were what, two kind of...
I don't know exactly.
Okay.
And he was the only medically qualified person in the GPO.
That's unbelievable.
Although he was only a student, he was just studying medicine.
But did he have any stuff with him?
I don't think he had anything with him. No. But he was only a student. He was only studying. He was just studying medicine UCD at the time.
Right. Yeah.
But they made him chief medical officer of the GPO, and he wrote about it later in memoirs, and it was cool. It gave a real interesting insight into kind of what went on. You know, he would have treated Pork Pierce, James Connolly. He was kind of the most seriously injured. You know, he had a kind of badly lacerated ankle, and famously he was kind of, you know, strapped to a chair before he was shot. And he would have been, you know, one of the last people to leave the GPO along with Connolly. But he came from a family, I think, no less than 5 of the 12 children were involved in Republican activities. He had a number of sisters that were members of Cumann na mBan. He subsequently would have fought. He was commandant of the Wexford Battalion in the War of Independence. So I guess these kind of stories were told by my old man and my uncle when I grew up, and that would have been what kind of sparked my interest and my kind of passion for Irish history, was kind of hearing these stories. So
And did you say I'm not going to get into that side of it, but did you say your first time Irish captain was against England?
Yeah.
That's kind of like...
Yeah, it's funny,
James Ryan back in 1916 and James Ryan now.
Yeah, a little bit different. But
go against the Brits, but this was a nicer way. Right, we'll finish with some quick fire. A few here, right?
Yeah.
Beer garden or snug?
Depends what mood I'm in.
One for the rest of your life, James.
Snug.
Good show. Favourite stadium to play in, apart from like the Irish ones, to go and play in?
Millennium Stadium.
Millennium Stadium. Most underrated Leinster player you've played with?
Underrated Leinster player I've played with.
Someone you just thought was unbelievable but didn't. I suppose you can't.
Underrated. I wouldn't even say he was underrated, but Scott Farley, I thought he was not underrated because he was an Australian international.
But he wasn't one of the...
But just that season, that couple of seasons, he was with us, so he was unbelievable.
Scott Farley. This is an interesting one now that I could possibly answer as well. Would you rather be 6 inches shorter or 6 inches taller? Let's say
Jesus.
maybe you don't have to be a rugby player, but so what are we saying? Are you giving yourself 6'7" or 6'8"?
Yeah, so if I'm 6'1"
So 6'1" or 7'1"?
Oh jeez, I probably have to go with 6'1", really, don't I? Yeah. If I'm 7'1", I'm a proper freak.
Yeah, and unless you're gonna start playing basketball from the age of like 3, there's not much good in being 7'1", even on a rugby pitch.
No, not on a rugby pitch. You'd be
like,
too.
Dev was what, 6'10". That's probably as tall as he'd want to be.
Yeah. No, I think 6'1". That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, because 6'1's still tall.
Yeah, it's still tall.
You look him up, you're like, fucking hell, I'm 6'1". Yeah. Who's the best lock of all time, apart from James Ryan?
Best lock of all time.
I like that you think about it. I thought it would have been an obvious answer, but
Paul O'Connell is up there.
Yeah.
John Eales is up there. One of those two. Martin Johnson, one of those 3.
Victor Matfield doesn't get a shout.
Matfield is another one. No, he does get a shout, just didn't come to me.
Yeah.
Like you could say Backy's Boat is another one.
Yeah.
It's tough, but one of those 4.
Who would you say, which of them inspired you the most? Is it an obvious answer?
O'Connell, yeah.
O'Connell. Yeah. Right, we're getting tricky now. Would you rather win the 6 Nations every year for the rest of your career or win one World Cup?
World Cup.
Love it. Speaking of World Cups, 79th minute in the World Cup final, crossfield kick from whoever is their 10. One man is going to catch it on the 5.
Yeah.
He's a 40-yard one-on-one with the other, with a player, with a winger off the other team.
Yeah.
Who's catching that ball for Ireland?
So he's catching it.
So yeah, he catches it. He's loads of space. He's a one-on-one with the other team's best winger. Let's say France's best winger. Who's taking it? Who's going to get around and score that try? You trust yourself?
Not me, anyway. James Lowe, maybe.
James Lowe.
Yeah.
After his big fancy goose step.
Yeah,
he's got the confidence now. And then turn it around. Their best winger gets it.
Yeah.
And you have to pick someone to make the tackle. Ireland are up by 3 points. You have to pick someone to make that tackle who's knocking it, who never gets stepped, basically.
Will Connors. Best actor in the country, I'd say.
Second last question. Actually, no, last question. And this is a controversial one. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Bacon fries or scampi fries?
Bacon fries.
Bacon fries.
Yeah.
The obvious answer. James Ryan, thanks to you. We'll see you in the next episode, lads. I was going to say, usually people are like, plug whatever, but it's like, you're a rugby player.
Yeah.
Do you want to plug anything?
No, I'm good.
Yeah. Watch me play rugby. Stick the telly on and watch me. Right, cheers, James.
Nice.
Thank you. Right, lads, thank you for watching. That was genuinely an honour to meet the man, the myth, the legend that is James Ryan. Quite a chilled out fella. I hope I did you proud in trying to extract a bit of crack out of him that he might not be used to with the regular sort of boring media interviews. So hopefully I did a good job. I want to give a quick shout out on the rugby topic. I want to give a quick shout out to the lads over at Fanzo, formerly known as Pint. I've teamed up with them for the last couple of years now. Just if you're into the rugby, the Autumn Internationals are happening over the next few weeks. You can win free pints and you can gift your friends with the Fanzo app. Download it from the App Store, go to the Guinness Pint Predictor, join my league with the code GURU, set your predictions for all the Autumn International games, and depending on how well you do with your predictions, you can win pints for yourself and to gift to friends.